Hello, good afternoon. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Today, I'm only focusing on questions. So go ahead, start putting your questions in the comments now so that I can answer your questions. Now, in the meantime, while your questions come in, this is what I want to tell you. Make sure that you go ahead and schedule your appointment with us, especially if you want to find out how you can get your papers here, get your work permit. The way you're going to do that is by doing the consultation. I've already given multiple people today good news about how they qualify, and we are ready and set to get started on their cases. I want that person to be you as well. So go ahead and go to the link in the profile, YouTube, Facebook. Go to the link in the description of the video. And when you go there, then you're going to go ahead and click on the link. You'll see a button to confirm your own appointment. We have multiple attorneys here. So it's me, Attorney Bria. You can choose one of our schedules, the one of them that works for you. So go ahead and do that. And we have exciting news because we're also bringing on another attorney, but that's going to take time. So as soon as we have the next attorney, we're going to let you know, and you'll definitely see that attorney on the schedule as well. I work closely with the attorneys to make sure that what we are helping you with, we can actually help you with. We don't take losing cases, we take winning cases here. And everybody who's on the team works together to get that done. All right, so questions. Put those questions in the comments. Our schedules are filling up, so I cannot understate it. Please go ahead, schedule your appointments. Now we want to get to work. Okay, so Damien, give the office a call. Go ahead and explain your situation, and they'll definitely run the information by me. So if you're now, what the rule, usually the rule is if any of your circumstances have changed, then and you have new facts, we need to know those new facts before we can confirm you qualify. But if we offered you a service and you qualify, then you should call us back, and then we can talk to you about put fees and any possible changes to fees since November as well. But we need to talk to you. So go ahead, call the office and explain to the staff, and they'll be more than happy to assist you. All right. Can a B1, B2 visa owner apply for T status if they overstayed? Absolutely, yes. Majority of our clients came through this visa, the visitor's visa, and ended up in a situation that qualifies them for the T status. So if you've overstayed, if you've come into the country without permission, you can still qualify for T status. Give us a call. Let's talk about what you've been through and then get started. I have a soldier girlfriend. We plan to get married next month. So she will be deployed in February next year. So in terms of paperwork, what do I do? So now even if you have a soldier girlfriend, is your soldier girlfriend a U.S. citizen? And how did you enter the U.S.? At that point, say you entered the U.S. without permission, you entered illegally, then having a military member spouse is definitely going to fix that situation for you. The military member spouse who is a U.S. citizen is going to fix that for you. But we need to talk to you to figure out what the best plan course of action is, because it may be you just get married and it doesn't necessarily make a difference if they're in the military or not. If they're a U.S. citizen, they can jump straight to applying for you, whether they're in the military or not. I'm a retired 59-year-old. How can I apply for a green card? So just because you're retired doesn't mean that you'll get a green card. You have to qualify through an employer. which you're retired. So that's telling me you're not necessarily going to go back to the labor market to get the green card. The other ways would be through family members, through a citizen spouse, parent, which, with parents, that's going to be a 5 to 7 year process at 59. So it would have to be a US citizen spouse or son or daughter. That's going to be the best and fastest course of action here. And then also, if you're already here in the US, we want to know what your circumstances are, and maybe there are other options that could come up. If you got denied after getting married, what's the best option after that? It's going to depend. If you got denied, I would be very concerned about whether you're being accused of marriage fraud or if there's another issue related to the denial. We've had clients who they were sabotaged by the spouse, and as a result of that, they could apply for VAWA. That was their next best option. But we need to understand your circumstances. We need to understand, why were you denied? What kind of case did you go through? And I know you said marriage based. Was it a US citizen or permanent resident? Then we can go into any kind of additional options. The consultation is going to be very, very, very important here. All right. Um, How could I better prepare for a combo N400 and removal of conditions interview? It depends on your circumstances, especially if you're applying for a waiver, meaning a waiver to apply on your own without that spouse based on divorce, mistreatment, or extreme hardship, or all of them. You can apply for one or all of those waivers. The way you're going to prepare is to get the right legal advice. I don't know your case, I'm not your attorney, and that preparing is going to come down to what exactly is in your application. What are your qualifications? Can you upload any evidence to USCIS without them requesting it? So I think I answered this before. This is really on a case by case basis. But I often get legal advice. If you are having doubts about any kind of evidence, you need to get legal advice. It's similar to criminal law, right? Where they say, don't talk to the cops, ask for the lawyer, right? Don't give anybody any information without first talking to your lawyer. The same rule applies in immigration. Don't be just throwing things at immigration until you fully understand how that information is going to affect you. It could affect you negatively, could affect you positively, as in you could get a positive outcome from this, but you definitely don't want to do that without first knowing how is that going to affect you. So please make sure you get legal advice. You can always give us a call and schedule that appointment. I want to apply for T visa, but I'm scared if these people get in trouble, even though I'm a victim. I understand your fear, and every single one of my clients have shared your fear. I get it. What I would say here is what you can do. We can take this step by step. Give us a call. And when you talk to I or Attorney Bria, what's going to happen is that information is going to be completely confidential between us. And then we can talk about what you can expect based on the information that you provide to us. This one thing you should know is that this process is designed for it to be completely confidential, meaning it protects you, and the focus is to get you the relief you need. But we need, and in some cases, the in some, I would even say in most cases, there is no trouble here, right? Because it really is on a case by case basis. It depends on what my clients want. Some of my clients, they want justice. Some of my clients, they just want to get to T status. And we come up with a case plan based on what's appropriate, what's required, and based on you being the priority and to protect you. But we need to talk to you first. So I would say invest in that initial consultation with us. That's going to be the best money that you spend. We can talk to you about what you've been through because obviously you do believe you qualify for T visas. I know you've been through a lot. You do have the fear that many of my clients have. And what else I can tell you that I hope will reassure you is that every single one of my clients that they've gotten their approval, they've walked away unscathed, protected, and completely happy in this process. So I want to talk to you to figure things out with you because it really is on a case by case basis. Um, all right, I'm on TikTok, so put your questions in the comments. I want to be a US citizen. This last 3 years, I went out for 9 months. Should I wait or try next year? So that is a tough one. Now, usually when you stay outside of the US for more than 6 months, but less than a year, they there is a presumption that you abandoned your green card, which can spell problems for your citizenship. But when I say a presumption, it means that it's rebuttable, means that you can show them evidence that maybe you didn't intend to stay out that long, something beyond your control caused you to stay out that long. You can also show evidence that you maintained domicile in the United States. That means that you paid your bills, you continue to pay rent while you're outside of the United States. You continue to file taxes, you kept your job here, maybe you went on leave, or your leave was extended due to extraordinary circumstances. So, in that case, the immigration officer may then reverse that presumption and still grant you the citizenship. But we need to talk to you to figure out whether that's the best. If we just have to go in with that information to show that it wasn't your intention to stay that long, but maybe circumstances outside of your control cause that to happen, but you continue to maintain your domicile here in the United States. What about asylum case? I don't know what you are referring to, but if you want to be more specific, I can talk to you. What evidence is required for T visa? This is where I say if you went through this, that's enough. The memory in your head is enough, right? We've gotten this approved based solely on the statement of our clients, the true statements of our clients. That is accepted as evidence because we take the memory of what our clients went through and we put it to paper in the form of a declaration. And as long as it's credible, then that's accepted as evidence. This is where I say, because I don't want anybody to be left out. I don't want anybody to miss out on this opportunity to be able to get your papers, get relief, the relief you deserve. And so this is where I say, if you've been through this, this is where you need to call us and talk to us. We will talk about evidence. We'll talk about all of what you need in the appointment. The first thing you need to do is get in touch. Now, when I say T status, here's what I say. When I say call us, if you've been in a situation where you felt trapped because an individual made you feel trapped and you were afraid to leave that situation because of this individual, and they made you do things you didn't want to do, that's when it's time to give us a call. How can I get back after a voluntary departure? So you can get back in the way that people usually get back. You'd have to qualify for through family, through employment, through certain circumstances you face. Can a person with O1 status file for a dependent who is undocumented but resides in the US? It's very unlikely that you will be able to do that because in order to change status, they have to be in status. So, how can I get back? So, I answered that. I came over the border. I'm in removal proceedings. I got married to a US citizen. Is my case an easy one? Your case is complex for sure, because whenever you throw coming into the country without permission, then yes, it can, or when you're even let into the country, but you're not paroled into the country, it does get complicated. We have to evaluate, did you come in with inspection? Did you come in without inspection? Have you been, for example, with Biden's new parole in place, have you been married to the US citizen since or as of on or before June 17, 2024? Have you resided in the US for the past 10 years continuously before June 17, 2024? If you have, then you may qualify regardless of the removal proceedings for parole in place. But if you don't fall under that category, then we still need to then look at how to fix your situation, which sometimes involves reaching out to counsel, government counsel, asking them to join a motion to terminate the proceedings so that you're able to move forward with this adjustment of status. But it once again, it all depends on the how you enter the country. Were you paroled, formally admitted into the US? Those would be the follow-up questions. What is the phone number to call for the consultation? 561-405-4889. If you scroll to the top of the comments, you'll also see the number there. I just filed for I-129F form. I'm a citizen. My girlfriend is in Iraq. Any tips or time frame? So you could be looking at a year and a half to even 2 years, depending on the wait time at the embassy. I'm not your attorney. I haven't reviewed your documents, so there wouldn't be any other tips that I'd be able to provide you other than to say, you do have to show the proof of the relationship, proof that you are engaged, you do intend to get married. Once your fiance comes into the U.S., you also have to show that you've met each other within the most recent 2 years before your application was filed, or that you've experienced extreme hardship that would prevent you from meeting your fiance within the most 2 recent years. Good day. I got approved for green card 3 months now, and all now I don't get it. Is it normal? I am noticing some lag time between the approval of the green card and actually receiving the green card. My best advice would be to call them to make sure it wasn't produced and sent already. And also to make sure they didn't send it to the wrong address. You may have to apply for a replacement card. I'm on K1 visa. My husband left me for no reason, asked me out if his house without changing my status. Give us a call. You do still qualify for VAWA in this case. VAWA allows you to apply for your own green card, change of status, adjustment of status without your spouse. So we can still get that for you. We do this all the time. Give us a call. Don't waste any time. We want to hear from you and hear what's going on. Hi, good afternoon. If you come from across the border with your children and their father is green card holder, so green card coming through the border is going to complicate the situation. If you come across the border with child, can I take father to court for child support? Yes, filing child support in court is a completely different matter. Usually, they don't report those things. I mean, there are certain state laws now in place that could affect. For example, in Georgia, they've created laws that do give certain local state employees the ability to call to inform about immigration status if they do have any information about the immigration status of individuals who are seeking help from agencies. So that's, you have to be mindful of state laws in that regard now, because a lot of states are now doing these sorts of, uh, you know, passing these kinds of laws. Usually, though, in the case when you're filing for child support, they don't usually then blend that in with what your immigration status is. Your child's, it's usually in the best interest of the child. What my best advice here is, if you're looking at getting child support, consult with a family law attorney who specializes in child support. And you can ask them to about your, because that's supposed to be confidential. So definitely tell them, inform them about your immigration status, and just ask them how that will affect your child support proceedings. How much time will approve if your spouse is in Nepal applying for the green card? It depends on the processing times at the embassies, of course, but what I've been noticing is a year and a half to 2 years. Can a person with H-1B status file for a dependent who is undocumented but resides in the US? No, they cannot. I have a pending I-130 3 months. After interview, spouse started getting abusive. Can I file for VAWA? Give us a call. This is what we do. And while I can't tell you in particular, go apply for VAWA, it's very likely, based on the facts that you've given me, that absolutely yes. We go through a process of switching our clients from the I-130 process to the VAWA process. And that is confidential. Your spouse won't know, and you can continue to move forward with your work permit, your travel document, without anything being interrupted. Kind of, let's see. I entered the US 2 times without getting caught by immigration. How do I know if I have a permanent bar? Now, if you came into the country, you stayed in the country for a year unlawfully, then you left and then came back again, that's a permanent bar. Or if you were deported and then you returned within the time that you were barred to return without inspection, that's a permanent bar. After a mother got her green card through VAWA, how long does it take for her child to get through? It depends. If your child is here, then you shouldn't expect much longer than you just apply for adjustment of status for the child. But if your child is outside of the US, you're looking at maybe another year to year and a half. How long after you receive your green card with VAWA can you apply for citizenship? If it's to a US citizen that you are married to and got VAWA, then you're looking at 3 years, but otherwise 5 years. Is it possible for a green card holder to file for an undocumented partner? This is more complicated. You can either apply for citizenship first and get through faster, or you're going to have to go through a waiver process where your spouse will not be allowed to stay here for the entire process. They'll have to go back to the embassy, do the final interview when they schedule the interview at the embassy after being approved for a waiver of forgiveness for the overstay. I traveled with my advance parole upon coming back. My passport was stamped until 7/1/2025, but my advance parole expires in 5 years. What does that mean? So, usually in this case, the travel document is going to take precedence. So, stamped until 7/1/2025. Usually they'll say paroled into the country, and what they'll do is give you a parole stamp, but you can still travel back and forth with that advanced parole, and it shouldn't conflict. Can you file for VAWA with fiance visa if you have been mistreated by your fiance? Great question. Unfortunately, not. You do have to show that you're married, or if you're in a state that does common law marriage and you lived as a common law couple, even though you didn't formally get married, that may be a way around that. But here's where I want to understand, because one nightmare scenario I've come across is you come in on the fiance visa and they actually basically turn you into a slave for them, where you have to live in the house. They restrict your freedom of movement. Sometimes they may even take your passport, make you do work in the house, and then don't marry you. that could qualify for the T visa, because unfortunately some people do that. They use the fiance visa to get somebody to come here, and then you find yourself being a maid to this person that was supposed to be your partner. Can we send I-693 along with I-485 based on VAWA? Yes, do it now. Why I say do that now is because there is no, it depends on whether you're facing a tight deadline, but definitely send the medical in from the start now, because it doesn't expire. How long does T visa take to get approved? Uh, I have text exchange as evidence with my employer about all doing wrong. So a year, about 1 year. So give us a call. That's what we do for our clients. All right, I have to head out again. So thanks again, everyone, for your time. These are all excellent questions. Always so excited to answer questions for you. Join me again, as I said, follow me, join me, like, subscribe, follow, do what you can. You have to, then you'll get notifications when I come on, then you join me, and then we can talk. I can come with updates. You can come with your questions, and we can jam it out. Have a great one. And remember, go to the link in the profile, go to the description of the video. Go to the link in the profile on TikTok if you want to go ahead, schedule your appointment. That's the best way that we can help you. So I'm depending on you to reach out to us to get the help you need. Have a great one. Bye bye.